Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to more WWE Smackdown vs. Raw 2007 General Manager Mode. My name is BrendenPlayz. As you can see, 1 week away from Judgment Day, which probably will be our Judgment Day. That might be the end of us. But still, we're in a good position. Last week we bumped up in the ratings. As you can see, 3-star rated show with some good matches there, 3 great matches there, three not so great ones, but in the end it evened out pretty well, and we got the win over Smackdown. 80,000 fan gain, I believe it was. So it's pretty good. Good news. Very good news. But Judgment Day is coming up. We're not going to do our big show this week. We're going to do it next week's show. So we can see the damage of Judgment Day. We can try and hit back on our own. Maybe we can get 100,000, 150,000. Plus, it gives us an extra week to build on our rivalries and really make more of an impact. Because you can see right now, we've only got the one big rivalry right now, and the rest just still very new. They're still just getting going, so we're gonna leave it at that. Give it another week. So all these have 3, a couple of these have 4, this one has 9, so, and we're talking about weeks there, so that can try and boost up the ratings in the end. So that's a better thing for us, I think, to go for. So Eddie Guerrero's not happy. We've got a few unhappy superstars, but nonetheless, we're in a pretty good position. Some contracts are coming up. We might re-sign a couple now that we have a bit of money. So we're not all trying to get them all at the one time. So Big Show and Kane, there's no way we're going to get rid of those two guys. We put too much time and effort into them. And we'll go JBL as well. Leaves us a couple more. So Van Dam coming up as well, so you can see. So we don't want to waste too much of our money at one go, but we can kind of have a few weeks reprieve without having to worry about a contract just quite yet. So let's move on to this week's show, though. So obviously last week was a pretty good one. We're building up, and we've got a couple of new names on the roster as well, so things are looking good. And we might do some more advertising. Obviously we need a bit more money to kind of re-sign a few guys in a couple of weeks' time, so we'll focus on that. And what else can we do? We might rivalry attack. I think we might go with that one. So we've got a rivalry attack. And we'll do it on Randy Orton because he's struggling a little bit. So we'll give that to Randy, see and hope that that can save him just a little bit. So we're gonna do. I think we might have did this match a couple of weeks ago. But we're gonna reverse the roles a little bit. So we're gonna have Kane and Mercury. I know we've done this one obviously before when we first did that rivalry, but we're gonna do it again anyways. At the moment, Kane and Big Show still aren't quite in contention for the tag titles, and that's very frustrating. We need to get them there. We need to get them over the line, but unfortunately, our divas are all taking up that spot, and there's some other guys who are doing pretty well as well. So, unfortunately, at the moment, that's just not happening. So, we're gonna do JBL and no, we're not. We're gonna do Shelton Benjamin. Actually, no, we've already done all these matches. So, we're gonna do a tag team matchup. So, we're gonna do JBL and Randy Orton. These guys can team up to take on John Cena and Rob Van Dam. Now that's probably a bit of a death sentence considering Randy Orton, John Cena and Rob Van Dam have been two of our best guys. They've been winning constantly, but we'll see how they go. They're going to take on the two of the best. We'll see how they fare in that one. Obviously John Cena is involved in the main event. Actually no, it has been involved in the main event, but we're going to leave that to Batista and Undertaker. They can take on Eddie and Kurt. I don't know if we already had this one. We may have already done that. But we're going to do it again anyways because we need to kind of fill in a week here because Judgment Day coming up and our quote-unquote pay-per-view Raw is next week. So we might do a fatal 4-way between the women. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do a fatal 4-way between the women. We'll spice it up. We've done this, obviously, a Backlash. So we're going to do this again. And we have Melina, Trish, Mickie James, and unfortunately Tori Wilson misses out. So I'm going to put Lita in there. And what else have we got left? So we might actually miss out this week because we've got Booker T and Shelton Benjamin. Booker T's doing pretty well, 71 popularity. He was in the 60s for a bit there, but he's starting to come back nicely. He's picking up some good wins. Unfortunately, we're going to have to do a bit of a you know, a throwaway match. Unfortunately, we have to do Tori versus Chris Masters, so that's not a good thing for us. But so the ratings might take a bit of a dive this week, but let's hope not too much. We might have to throw a stipulation on some of these matches here. So, but the thing is, like, our next show is going to be our big one, so we don't want to do too much. That's kind of like my thinking at the moment. So we'll do a fatal, we do a fatal 4-way something. That's the problem with the women; they can't do like many stipulations at all. So, and you can see some of these guys already have a bit of fatigue behind them. So unfortunately, we can't really do too much. But we're gonna have to rely on our popularity and our rivalries to kind of get this show home. I'm not expecting too much. Smackdown will probably come away with the win this week, and they'll build into Judgment Day and probably go double up on us. So it's probably not going to be a great week for us, but it's kind of a bit of a filler week. We need to try and just get through the week and see how we go, and go from there. So, alright, so we're going to go and play the... We're going to go ahead and play the main event, and we're going to watch how this one plays out. Here we go. Here comes the potential #1 contender for the world, for the WWE Championship, I should say, Batista. I always associate Batista with the World Heavyweight Championship. I always forget about the WWE Championship. I know he held the title at one point, but when I think of Batista, I think of the big gold belt, so I apologize for that. But Batista coming out, he's been in a bit of a rivalry with Eddie Guerrero, trying to get himself to the top of the rankings, and he's almost there, I think. Here we go, Batista fired up. And we're going to get this one on the way. Here comes his partner. He hasn't exactly got a bit of a slouch of a partner. I mean, his partner is the Undertaker. He's a WWE champion, and you probably couldn't ask for a better partner than this man. He is in control of this brand. He is the dead man, he is the champ, and he is unstoppable right now. The Undertaker is on fire. Who the hell is going to stop him? Kurt Angle wants to be the champion. John Cena wants to be the champion. But the dead man just keeps on winning. Good luck. And here comes the former champion. His name is Kurt Angle, losing the championship in a last man standing match against The Undertaker. And Angle's just been struggling a little bit in the recent weeks. Undertaker's got his number perhaps. Kurt Angle just in control for a few weeks as champion. And Undertaker fighting back and taking over this roster. Monday Night Raw was Kurt Angle's. Now Undertaker is controlled. Angle wants that back. He wants the title. He wants the prize. That means that you are the man here on Monday Night Raw. And next week he will get his opportunity, but we'll get a bit of a teaser, a bit of a taste of what to expect here tonight. And his partner Eddie Guerrero, he could have been the man to take on Angle and Undertaker next week, but instead it turned out to be John Cena because Eddie Guerrero could not get it done at Backlash. It was a #1 contenders match between John Cena and Eddie Guerrero, and unfortunately for Eddie, John Cena picked up the W, and now Cena gets the title shot, but Eddie's close. He and Batista, they'll battle it out next week to determine the next #1 contender themselves. But Eddie Guerrero wants to prove that he is the man. Vengeance is coming up. A big chance for Eddie to strike there. So he needs to get a victory here tonight against Batista and keep his momentum going. Alrighty, this one's about to get underway. Batista and Kurt Angle will start this one off. And you can see Eddie Guerrero there watching on as well. Big opportunity for both of these men. Batista, he's been on a bit of a roll. He's got the better of Eddie Guerrero, who is currently on a 5-match losing streak. He needs this victory. Kurt Angle himself hasn't exactly been winning all that much. So Batista and Undertaker, both men are dominating right now their respective rivals. So a victory for Angle and Eddie might just get themselves back on track, especially before the big show next week. You know, you don't really need to worry about the matches beforehand. As long as you win the match that counts, that's all that matters. So if Kurt Angle doesn't win the next 4 weeks before his title match, well, that doesn't matter. As long as he wins his title match and comes away with the championship, that's all that matters for Kurt. Because he's still getting his title shot, still getting his title rematch. Of course, Kurt Angle got himself involved in the John Cena matchup a couple of weeks ago. It was John Cena and Undertaker one-on-one for the WWE Championship, and Kurt Angle decided, look, I'm going to make sure that John Cena doesn't win this championship, and I'm going to make sure that Undertaker doesn't win the match either. So he forced the count out. John Cena won by count out, but instead of Kurt Angle, I mean, if Kurt Angle had have let Undertaker beat John Cena one-on-one, it would have been a one-on-one match between John Cena. It would have been one-on-one between Angle and Undertaker. Instead, it's going to be a triple threat match. So Kurt Angle, whilst he forced the count out, he also forced a title rematch for John Cena. So perhaps Kurt Angle making a bit of a mistake there. Should have probably let those two guys battle out and the best man win. But I suppose if John Cena had won anyways, then, you know, then I guess it would have been a triple threat regardless, and Kurt Angle was technically in John Cena's corner, so Kurt Angle didn't really want to attack his own man. But now we have triple threat matchup next week. Angle, Cena, Taker. That's going to be huge. Batista and Eddie next week as well to determine the next #1 contender. So this will be very interesting indeed. I mean, this situation between Undertaker and Kurt Angle could finally culminate, or it could continue. We don't know, because if Kurt Angle wins that championship back from Undertaker, then, well, there you go. It's going to go all the way again, perhaps to vengeance, where we might see another triple threat matchup if Batista or Eddie Guerrero get themselves involved in that. But at the moment, Kurt Angle and Undertaker, they've been going at it for a number of weeks now, about 9 weeks, and Eddie forces the submission, but Batista gets the rope break. So these guys have been going at it for a number of weeks now. It's been a very interesting rivalry. I mean, it's been back and forth. I mean, Kurt Angle at the beginning of the rivalry was probably better than the Undertaker, but ever since Undertaker won the championship, Taker's just got this newfound confidence and newfound belief in himself. I think Kurt Angle's starting to doubt himself as well. You know, Undertaker was not the man that, you know, he usually is when this whole situation started, but now that he's got a few victories behind him, he's now the champion. Well, he's starting to become the Undertaker of old, the unstoppable dead man, and Kurt Angle has definitely found that one out. As Batista striking away on Eddie Guerrero right now, but Eddie with the counter. What can Eddie do with it? Here we go. Oh, a thump to the eye. Eddie using his dirty tactics, and that's no real surprise from Eddie Guerrero. But Batista countering and still in this one as he just runs over the top of Eddie Guerrero as well. So very interesting right now. Obviously next week as well, we're going to have the Intercontinental Championship on the line. I'm not exactly sure what we're going to do with that. We might do just a straight up singles match, but obviously Shelton Benjamin has his rematch clause, so probably a Fatal 4-Way might do it justice. So next week, Booker T, JBL, Shelton Benjamin, and Rob Van Dam in a Fatal 4-Way match for that IC Championship is probably what I expect to see. I don't know if we'll be able to do the tag team title match. I know that's been very frustrating. We're trying to eradicate that problem and trying to get Big Show and Kane in contendership, but unfortunately, it's just going to take some time. So that rivalry, we're going to have to put it on ice before we can give it a title shot and kind of see which tag team is truly the better out of the two. But hopefully we can fix that problem soon, as Eddie and Undertaker going at it. Eddie getting out of the way because I think Kurt Angle's the legal man. So here we go. These two rivals going at it right now. Undertaker very fresh, as is Kurt Angle. So Batista and Eddie went through a bit of damage against one another. But Taker and Angle now, we're going to get a sneak preview of what to expect next week on Monday Night Raw. Judgment Day happening this Sunday. Obviously, I know this week's show wasn't as strong as perhaps last week's because, you know, we don't want to risk any injuries, and we got the fatigue on. I know you guys probably thinking, why don't you just turn injuries off? That's not the way I like to do things. I like to make sure injuries are on. If someone gets injured, that just throws a spanner in the works, so we're going to try and overcome that and think of some ideas. And also it can lead to a trade or something like that, something new, something exciting. So that's what we do there, but we don't want to force an injury. We don't exactly want to trade anybody out right now and do any of that. Oh, wait a minute. Eddie Guerrero, is he the legal man? I don't even think he is. Shoulders down. No, because Kurt Angle's getting counted. It's at a count of 6. Batista's not letting go, though, of Angle. Still battling away, and he's got Angle up and takes him down. So this could force a count out. If he's not careful, it's a count of 9. I think we're going to see a count out here. Batista's still striking away on Angle, and at a count of 10, it is a count out. A count-out victory for Batista and the Undertaker. They'll take it. But Kurt Angle, well, he just got taken out. I mean, Batista was there, and he just would not let go of Kurt Angle. He just kept striking, kept pounding away, kept slamming him down. There was nothing Kurt Angle could really do. Eddie Guerrero had the Undertaker down, so he was distracted. He didn't realize the count was happening. Didn't come out to save Kurt Angle, as Batista kept taking down Angle. And, well, Taker and Batista, they got the momentum heading in towards next week's show. Alright, so let's check out the rest of the results. So we had Lita win the Fatal 4-Way matchup. Booker T versus Shelton Benjamin. Let's simulate them all first. Shelton Benjamin defeats Booker T, so a big victory for Shelton before the championship match next week. Chris Masters defeats Tori Wilson. No surprise there, but that's a good thing because Chris Masters getting a bit more of a build up there. JBL and Randy Orton, that's a much needed win for Randy. So I didn't think they'd get the win, but I was wrong, so they got the win. Well done. And Kane defeats Joey Mercury, so that's good news as well. So a good show in terms of wins and losses, but what about ratings? Oh, I think Judgment Day is done. Let's see how bad the damage was. 100,000? Yeah, that can't be right. Judgment Day, a 3-star pay-per-view? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Is that the Judgment Day ratings? 100,000? They didn't even have the world title on the line. What are they doing? They have the world title on the line every freaking show, and their pay-per-view, they didn't even do it. What are they doing? Who books this crap? And a triple threat hardcore tag match, not even for the titles. I mean, what the hell? What are they doing? I mean, oh my god, no wonder we won. So our ratings wasn't that great, that's no surprise, but we had a decent main event matchup, and that's good. And SmackDown, well, they had a bet, so they had the world title on SmackDown, Triple H versus Rey Mysterio. And they love their steel cage matches. I mean, I swear to God, every world title match they do is a steel cage match. Well, that is great news for us. So, let's take a quick look. Undertaker's on fire, 90 popularity, there you go. Kurt Angle's been losing every week. Eddie's been losing every week, so we need to try and help him out there. Van Dam wants a title match. Randy Orton wants a title match. Booker T, he wants a title match. Well, that'll be 2 guys getting their wish next week. And the rest of them are pretty happy. Wait a minute, what's wrong with Mickie James? Well, she's losing every week as well. Joey Mercury's dipping down a little bit, so that's not good news. But he's a tag champ, so that's not too bad. Doesn't really matter too much. Kane's doing okay. Big Show's doing okay. That's great news. And you see Van Dam dipping out of the 80s a little bit there, but that's fine. So all is well right now. Our rivalries are doing okay. This next show coming up is going to be a big one. And I cannot believe that. I mean, the ratings, it's neck and neck, so I'm not exactly sure what happened. So perhaps SmackDown, they probably beat us last week in the ratings, and then Judgment Day as well. But we are still 10,000 ahead. So even after Judgment Day, we're still in the lead. Not by much, but we're still in the lead. And we're going to have our big show this week to try and counteract the big show. So the Judgment Day pay-per-view. So that's fine. So all is pretty well. You can see our fatigue on our superstars is pretty much all gone except the big show. So that will allow us to have some big matches next week. So stay tuned for that, guys. It's going to be a big one. Let's just have a quick look at the power rankings just to make sure we're all good for next week's show. So Cena and Angle are both there, so that's good. See, Randy Orton, geez, he had a big climb this week, didn't he? Beating in that tag team matchup. So all is pretty good at the moment. Very happy with that. So I'm very pleased. So ladies and gentlemen, hope you guys enjoyed this week's edition of WWE Smackdown vs. Raw 2007 General Manager Mode. If you did enjoy it, please make sure you hit the like button. Of course, subscribe to see next week's show. It's pretty much a pay-per-view show. Do not miss that. Gonna be huge. Hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode, and I'll see you all next week.